It's Friday, Internet. I hope you had a pleasant week. Give me just about 5 minutes and I'll fill you in on what you absolutely need to know this weekend. This is The Loop. Armenians from all over the globe are in Istanbul, Turkey today for the commemoration of the Armenian genocide that occurred there exactly 100 years ago. Turkey, then known as the Ottoman Empire, was the site of the massacre of nearly 1.5 million Armenians, and the events are still hotly contested even 100 years later. The Turkish government insists that the wartime slaughter was not genocide, and Armenians around the world balk at the repeated denials of the greatest tragedy in their history. Turkey's position is that the deaths were part of a civil war following the Ottoman Empire's collapse, and that the Armenian origin of those killed played no part in their demise. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan claims that Armenian arguments on the subject are, quote, baseless and groundless. He then outraged Armenians by rescheduling a memorial for the Battle of Gallipoli on the same day as the genocide anniversary. Historians largely agree with the Armenian version of events, but world leaders are still gun-shy about calling it a genocide. Even US President Obama refuses to call it genocide, despite it being a 2008 campaign promise to Armenian American voters. However, German President Joachim Gauck came forward and admitted that even Germany may have been complicit in the systematic slaughter of the Armenian population. He said, "In this case, we Germans must still come to terms with the past as to whether there is in fact a shared responsibility, possibly even complicity, in the genocide of the Armenians." The bold statement is especially noteworthy as Germany is Turkey's top trade partner in the European Union. In Iraq, ISIS has taken the curious position that Nike clothing and shoes can no longer be worn by anyone under their sway because the name Nike sounds too much like this Arabic word, nakaha, the verb equivalent of to fuck in English. The clothes, in their minds, are too smutty to be worn, and punishments for buying or selling their products range from fines to whipping or imprisonment. Hilariously, one of ISIS's most prominent commanders, Abu Wahib, is known for his love of Western sportswear, including several Nike products. Jeans have also been banned by the jihadist group on the grounds that they provoke sexual desire and show the attractions of a man's body. The punishment for wearing jeans? Prison time. Burger-flipping behemoth McDonald's is in trouble. Their sales have eroded over the past few years due to changes in eating habits and competition from more upscale fast casual restaurants like Chipotle and a successful launch of Taco Bell's breakfast menu, a meal once owned by the mighty McMuffin. The Golden Arches are also fighting off American protests from employees lobbying for a wage increase to $15 an hour. This multifaceted squeeze on their bottom line has led CEO Steve Easterbrook to close 700 locations around the world. Now, McDonald's is a massive company, and even these 700 locations only account for 2% of their 35,000 restaurants. But that 2% accounts for millions of dollars and thousands of jobs lost. In Q1 of 2015, McDonald's Corporation earned $811.5 million compared with $1.2 billion during the same time last year. They claim they have a plan to reinvigorate the business, but their current problems are indicative of a troubled future. General Motors, the car company currently under fire for faulty ignition switches that led to the deaths of 87 Americans, is trying to make it illegal for car owners to work on their cars in any capacity. How is that possible? Once you buy a car, you should be able to repair it yourself, right? Well, GM is using the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the anti-piracy legislation brought about in 2000 following the advent of the file-sharing service Napster. Their premise is that unlike older vehicles, today's cars have so much software embedded in their internal electronics that messing with anything internal could be incredibly dangerous. The company wants to reclassify cars as mobile computing devices, or basically iPads with wheels and seats, because that makes sense. Huge news out of China this week as scientists confirmed that they have successfully genetically modified a human embryo for the first time in history. The researchers injected 86 early-stage embryos with a gene editing tool called CRISPR-Cas9, an enzyme complex that targets and cuts out specific DNA sequences. They targeted and eliminated a gene called HBB, which is associated with a fatal blood disorder known as beta thalassemia, and then replaced the missing genes with new genetic material. The scientific community erupted with fears over the future of eugenics, but we are still far away from so-called designer babies. And finally, what was popular in media this week? In music, Shawn Mendes' Handwritten debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, a decisive win for the young artist. A shocking episode of Grey's Anatomy took the top TV episode spot from Scandal on iTunes, with Girls Season 4 and Orphan Black Season 3 leading the season charts. And at the box office, Furious 7 won a third weekend in a row against the critically savaged Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, bringing its total domestic gross to a towering $300 million. And that's everything you should know about what happened this week, or at least what I could fit into a tight 5. So, this weekend you can tweet out that you know what's up, because until next Friday, you're in the loop. And hey, if you like this show, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, share it on social media. And hey, while you're here, give it a little like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm Matt Lieberman. Thanks for watching.